Welcome to Smoke&Mirrors with Sarah Staerk, the podcast that takes you behind the curtain of the dark art of public relations. Join us as we unveil secrets of the PR industry, offer expert advice, strategic insights, and delve into the magic and the mischief behind the headlines. Whether you're a communications professional, an aspiring publicist, or simply curious about the art of crafting perceptions, myself and a range of acclaimed guests will provide expertise, insights and stories from the fascinating world of public relations. There's no way I'm doing a podcast. That was my first words to the amazing team at Focal Media who approached me a few months ago to do a podcast about the crazy world of PR. It's not something I'm used to doing. PR is very much behind the scenes, and that's where I'm used to being. So I said no a couple of times, but with more consideration and a few chat to my mentors around, I decided to do a podcast. Much of it is to step outside of my comfort zone, so it's a bit of a personal growth thing to me. That was the first hurdle I had to overcome. The second one was then just deciding what it was going to be about. There's plenty of podcasts out there that are step-by-step how-tos. So I didn't want to flood that market. And to be honest, myself, I'm not really that interested in that kind of thing. So this podcast is about all aspects of the PR industry. And I wanted to make the topics and talk to guests that I personally would be really interested in talking to if I was a listener of the podcast. I've been in PR for 25 years and I'm fascinated by the depths and intricacies of the industry. And I'm really happy to be sharing this with you now. So thank you for joining us. Firstly, I think it's really important to talk about what is PR. I've been doing it for over 2 decades now, and I'm pretty sure my parents don't even really know what I do, hence why it's called the dark arts. But PR is considered to be part of the marketing umbrella. And we work very closely with marketing departments and within marketing campaigns to bring those to life. But it is a very different skill and a unique qualification, and it's studied differently in universities under the communications sector rather than the business or marketing sector. Essentially, a PR person, for those who don't know, is a person who sits in between the media and a business or organisation. Most people are shocked to hear that between 50 and 70% of what you read, hear or see on the news is actually driven by PR people. At its heart, and put very simply, a PR's role is to make a business newsworthy and pitch that news angle or idea to a journalist and hope they find it interesting enough to publish on their particular platform as news or editorial at no cost. There are a lot of other roles and activities that fall within the realm of PR, including being an agent or publicist for a sports person or celebrity. Again, this involves managing the perceptions of that particular person by sitting in between the media and your client. There's also crisis management, the art of managing media fallout or attempting to control a media narrative on the behalf of your client. Once again, we are the people in between the media and the negative circumstance, trying to navigate the scenario for best outcome. Government lobbying falls within the realm of PR. Then the jobs that most people likely consider when they think of public relations, of course, social media, content creation, event management, influencer management, etc. All of these activities and functions work alongside and closely with marketing departments to essentially manage the public perception of a person, circumstance, or organisation. PR was first invented in the 1800s, but it really evolved into an art form and profession in the 1970s and 80s. Back then, there were very few PR people pitching to a very large number of journalists, with not a lot of admiration or respect from the media for these people who were trying to control what was considered a respected and independent narrative. Now it's very different. PR operators are way outnumber the number of journalists we're pitching to, and due to the changing nature of media, tight budgets, a 24-hour news cycle and journalists being under tough time constraints, most media have come to appreciate and perhaps even rely a little on what PR people have to offer that might make their day a little easier. The skills required to be successful in PR are to be strategic, creative, diplomatic, a good writer, a salesperson, an excellent communicator, intuitive, forward-thinking, level-headed, calm under pressure, to really understand people and to have a really tough skin. So that's a little bit about the history and what is PR. Very quickly, my experience. I've been in the industry for 25 years. I didn't actually study PR to begin with. I studied marketing and international business and fell into PR and have absolutely loved it and not been able to get out of it ever since. I've worked for big agencies. I've moved to Melbourne and Sydney and been general manager of those agencies when I was very young, and then went out on my own quite early to start a PR and events business with a business partner and journalist. That was the successful agency on the Gold Coast. I sold that when I had my 2 children, and then had 5 years off and came back to work at another agency to sharpen up my skills. Social media and the internet had really become a big part of the industry, so I wanted to make sure I had all of those skills covered. There are obviously many types of PR people. There's the ones that like being in the big agencies, which I absolutely love, the fast-paced environment of. There's internal people that work internally for organisations, which I've not done before. I prefer the fast-paced life of being a consultant. And then there's the smaller operators like myself now. I made a decision a few years ago to remain boutique and work with a select range of clients very closely and intimately. And I'm still doing that today. My agency's name is SS Agency. Enough about me and my thoughts. This podcast is not about me. It's about my range of incredible and talented guests. Stay tuned in season 1 for in-depth conversations with some of the best and brightest in the PR industry. Those who have risen to the very top of what they do and have been kind enough to share their secrets and strategies on how they did it. Also joining us this season is a 40-year seasoned government lobbyist who talks all things lobbying, the darkest art, crisis management, and how to kill a story in the media. We talk to the next generation of PR superstars, including the CPRA Student of the Year 2024 and 2 of her lecturers from the University of Queensland, on the future of the industry and how to utilise AI to your advantage. On the media side, I must say I am most excited to talk with the cream of the crop, Australia's best investigative journalist, the recipient of 8 Walkley Awards, 2 gold, and now globally recognised true crime podcast host, Hedley Thomas. Hedley is not only a true legend within the world of media and journalism, he's also one of the best and smartest people I know. It's a great privilege to be interviewing him later in the season. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoy hearing about all things public relations for the first season of Smoke and Mirrors. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Smoke and Mirrors. It takes a village to pull a professional podcast together. If you found value in today's episode, myself and the team would much appreciate your support via a like or comment for the episode, a quick subscribe to the series, or sharing the content with others who may find the discussions of interest. I'd like to thank my range of incredible guests, the production team at Focal Media. Without their talent and support, this podcast would not be possible.